Recording? Right, off we go. So, like I say, today is just a short introductory session to look at the strategies to consider to help you evolve your career and to think about your career whilst you're at UCLan. So, as an engineer, you provide creative solutions to practical problems, you're mathematical, you're scientific in your thinking, but you also need to be aware of the changes in your industry. You obviously are doing a degree which is in high demand. However, over these past 8 months, these unprecedented times that we've all been faced with, things have started to show with regards to engineering and particularly within the aviation business that engineering isn't necessarily as robust as we maybe all had thought. However, as we go along through this session, you'll hopefully get to understand that there's still possibilities out there. There's still a lot of good ways for you to develop yourself and your career to obviously progress and become the best that you can be. So, like I say, you need to be looking at your industry and also need to be looking at the sector to ensure that you know where the shortages may lie and maybe readdress your initial career path to ensure that you can get as much experience and those transferable skills that will then maybe once all the economics and the unsettledness goes back to normal, then hopefully you'll be with a really good chance of competing and securing that dream job. So, one important factor is within the ever-changing global market is to ensuring that you are prepared, that you understand yourself, you understand what it is that you want out of your time at UCLan to then enable you to then move forward with your career and to understand your labour market, to understand what jobs there are out there, what those titles are, and even if you're maybe in your first year and you're not looking at applying at the moment, that when it comes to your third year, you know what jobs it is, what those job titles are, and it's not just this general engineer that you're looking for. There's so many different subsections between all the different areas of engineering that we offer just at UCLan that you need to be aware of these and you need to be prepared for these, and you need to then start understanding about how then you can understand yourself to obviously help your industry. So recently, a survey was conducted with employers to ask them about what were the prominent skills that they were looking for from graduates. 80% of those employers said communication skills and interpersonal skills were really what was driving them with regards to their recruitment. So they were then looking for those communication interpersonal skills. 50% of them said that creativity and innovation, critical thinking, problem solving, IT skills, and digital adaptability and flexibility were just as important as well. So you've got to think about it. How can you then yourself, do you know what skills you've got? Do you know if you've got these skills? If you have got these skills, do you know how you can then demonstrate these to an employer? Do you know then, with regards to what jobs you've done before, how can you then best describe those to then put yourself forward? When we were talking just a moment ago, does that perfect job exist? What does that job look like to you? And when you're then maybe researching that now, what are the skills that this employer is then looking for? And are you aware that you have those skills yourself? So really you need to be starting to think about, right, okay, if there's some particular skills that maybe you feel you need developing further within your course, it's to sort of then your academic staff to see if there's anything you could then be doing, or also coming to careers and talking through with us with regards to your skills. But also as well, it's looking at that the careers planning, and that is so important to then be doing that self-analysis. And you can do that in the comfort of your own home via Career Edge, which is our career system, which you have got access to via Banner. And you can then put in your student username and password, and you'll be able to then see all the information on there. If you're looking at doing some self-assessments, they're within the popular tools section, and hopefully it can then come up with any motivations, what motivates you to work, with regards to your confidence in yourself and your ability, and then maybe even taking the career pulse to then assess your employability and any gaps maybe within your employability. So that's the self-awareness. You need to be aware. But and then also, like I say, you also need to be aware about your sector, know about your industry, and know about the possibilities. So with regards to Career Edge, that can, under the popular tools and job research, there's loads of different options that you can then use on Career Edge that now you can start to be researching, whether that be you're in your third or your fourth year, or whether that's you're in your first year. So look at the company directory and look at the industry reports. Think about, again, this unpredictable employment market. You know, it's a case of that the media has really taken hold with regards to the negativity of it. However, there's still job opportunities there. There's still things that are out there. You just need to be aware of where they are to find them. But like I say, also to have that confidence in your sector and in yourself as far as projecting yourself well in interview. So, Engineering UK in 2019 did an update on a report that they'd done in the previous year, and it stated that 62% of engineering and tech graduates were in full-time employment 6 months after they graduated, and that was compared to 57% of all other graduates. The same study also indicated that there was a shortfall of 124,000 engineers and technicians, and that needed to be filled before 2024. Now, obviously, things have changed significantly with regards to then the recession that we're in. However, employers are still looking for new talent, fresh ideas, innovative people. So please try not to lose sight of that, and make sure that you are doing this research now as far as your sector, but also with regards to yourself, doing that self-assessment. If you're then thinking, ooh, with regards to the sector you were initially thinking of, you've done some research and it isn't necessarily one that you're looking at now because of these unprecedented times, go on Career Edge and have a look at the schools pages. See whether then there's information on there that could give you then further guidance with regards to your journey, and then maybe give you some thoughts with regards to then coming into careers and then discussing that with us. But again, it's all about determining those job titles, and as well just making sure that you're aware of the graduate schemes, and also as well with regards to graduate schemes within the company. If you're not successful at a graduate scheme, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't apply to that organisation. A lot of students, or even like when we've seen graduates, it's a case of, well, I applied for the graduate scheme, so I can't apply to that employer. That is not the case, and you need to be looking at all options, all jobs, and maybe even for sometimes if you're struggling to get that engineer title job, then maybe to look to see if you can maybe go in as a technician level, to then maybe even work your way up so you've got your foot in the door with that organisation. So, as well as something else to help yourself, so looking at self-assessments, looking at Career Edge with regards to the sector, but also yourself, there's also virtual events that are being run, which generally would have been run at particular venues, whether that would have been at UCLan or other places. However, those are then all being run online now. So NGREC 2020, that's going to be running on the 30th of October, and that's going to have loads of different organisations with loads of different opportunities that are available to you. Equal Engineers are also doing a virtual event on the 2nd of November, and UCLan Careers are doing a general careers fair in November that will touch on some engineering companies. But February, I've put 2021, but that's 2022, is then a specific engineering careers fair that so far we've got about 5 or 6 employers that have confirmed that they will be attending. And obviously by February we're hoping to have about 20-25 employers that will be coming online to offer their guidance and assistance with regards to their companies. So another thing for you to think about, and obviously forgive me if you've already done a placement, but is maybe then for you to consider a placement. So like we said, the media is painting a negative picture with regards to graduate recruitment and recruitment in general. However, it's saying that, or studies are showing that 40% of the larger companies are saying that they're going to recruit 40% less of placements, and also 55% of interns and placements will be less in the small to medium enterprises. However, that doesn't mean that there aren't opportunities out there. There still are opportunities. It's a 40% less, but like it says, it's 40% less. It's not saying that they're completely doing away with graduate schemes. They are still there, and you need to ensure that whichever step of the journey you are on at the moment, if it's first year, if it's third year, you're aware of where you can start looking. You're going to be aware of these closing dates if you're in your third year, because a lot of those will close in the first semester. You need to be aware of these things now to ensure that you can then progress positively once you leave university. So obviously it's placements, and for yourself, if then you are thinking of doing a placement, then they say that a lot of employers will use a placement to then look at those people to be then considered for their graduate scheme. It's also as well, if then you don't necessarily do the graduate scheme with that particular company, it's giving you opportunity to gain knowledge and understanding, to see how you can then put your knowledge into practice. It's also giving you opportunity to make networks, to start to have conversations with people, to make those friendships, and these people might then start to look at opportunities for you. Anything that then comes up, they will then let you know. But obviously, if you're successful in a placement, an organisation will then want to invest in you. So again, the evidence has then suggested that placements are a good idea. And again, with regards to internships, that those are a short period of time that you can gain valuable experience within a company, and then it's obviously enhances your CV, and it also then enhances your opportunities. So with regards to recruitment agencies, they are also a significant factor to consider. There's 40,000 recruitment agencies in the UK, and it's not to say that all of them are extremely good. However, there's some that are extremely useful to engineering, and it's becoming aware of who they are. So one, for example, is Mawson's. So they're particularly good, and they're based locally. So you might want to consider those, and Hayes and Reed, and other recruitment agencies that you can then consider. With regards to engineering, it's very much an area whereby it's projects led, where there's like basically the start, the middle, and an end. It's very much project work. So with regards to an employer, if they're going to be roughly spending about £3,000, that's what the evidence has shown, to recruit an employee, but then it's going to be for a short project. It's a lot for that employer to then obviously pay with regards to this short-term output. So a lot of employers will then use recruitment agencies to get personnel for these short-term projects. So again, you might find that you can gain employment quicker through recruitment agencies, because then these employers, again in these unprecedented times, are putting their recruitment out to these organisations to cut their costs, and you can then get a short-term contract in the hope that that would then lead on to something else. So again, you need to then be looking at who these organisations are, whether you can register now, whether you can even do some work now before you've even graduated. It's all worth to start having these conversations. So the next thing is to then think about professional bodies. So professional bodies are linked to all areas of engineering, and they offer a lot of help and support to kickstart your career. You can generally, as a student, register for free, or if it's not free, it's a very, very small registration fee. And these organisations will offer careers insights and support. They'll also offer the opportunity for you to link with other people within industry. So there's all different things, and maybe even then training that they can offer. It all depends on which professional body it is that you're going to be linked to, but there's a whole plethora of functions available to you. But predominantly it's about opening up those networks, and those networks of the people who are then those engineers who maybe have been in the business for 20 years, and they're actually registered with these professional bodies, and then can give you that time and input. So obviously bear that in mind. With regards to hiring, then, it's a case of thinking about updating your CV, starting to think about a covering letter. And again, even if you're in your first year, you might think, oh, I don't need to consider that now. But please, please do. The amount of people who leave it so much to the last minute, and then it's sort of a rush job, they don't necessarily hit the criteria, etc., etc. Then think about that. Career Edge, and there's other platforms out there, Target Jobs, Prospects, they all offer really, really good advice onto how to complete these and make it effective, your CVs and covering letters. Now, LinkedIn is used by 660 million users worldwide, and 90 million of those are senior recruiters and influencers. They advertise 22 million jobs. So obviously use that platform to enlighten yourself as far as the different companies that are available that aren't necessarily advertising jobs at the moment, but you can do company searches. It will then show you people from that company who are then active on LinkedIn. You could then maybe message them, follow them, etc. Or utilize the hashtags, because the hashtag is the most significant thing on LinkedIn. It obviously increases your AI, and obviously with your AI you appear in more searches, more people will start to connect with you, you'll start to appear in more feeds and different things like that, and that is then how you can then get your notoriety. So really think about that. Competitions run through professional bodies. You might want to do that individually, or get a group of your fellow students to maybe complete these competitions, because again, you could be winning something of significance that will help your career, or again, you will gain notoriety, and it's something you can put on your CV that you've won this particular competition, and again, it's going to enhance your employability. So again, with your professional bodies, look into that and to see what competitions are available to students. With regards to webinars, obviously you're starting off today in a good place, but also professional bodies, they offer webinars. Through LinkedIn, there's webinars, they offer podcasts, giving insight into the industry, insight into people's professions. Who's maybe a CEO in a motorsport company, they're maybe saying about their journey that they've had through the industry, and hopefully that will then give you some enlightening moments as far as setting those sights for yourself, and what opportunities maybe you want to progress to, and what roles is going to be then successful to you to have a successful career. So really think and look into those webinars and different podcasts. Then last but not least is then to think about FAME, which is again on our Career Edge system, and this is to look at the hidden job market. It's to look at speculative applications. It's to then to start to research these companies, to start to ask them with regards to future opportunities. So to send your CV and a covering letter, well, speculative letter, just to find out whether you could maybe have a short conversation with the recruitment manager as far as what their company is looking like with regards to recruitment. Have they got any projects coming up? Have they been successful in achieving any funding? But this is obviously one place that you could start is on the FAME database, which you've got access to via Career Edge. And you can then start to navigate that as it then gives you information of different companies, whether that bigger or smaller companies, and you can start to approach them or follow those on LinkedIn. So, like I say, it was a very short webinar. It was a very whistle-stopped webinar. And I really hope that I've packed enough in there that's given you some time to think and to stop about what it is that you want to gain in your time at UCLan and how careers and also other external establishments can then also help you. So if there's any questions, then please go ahead. And I've